Hello, and welcome to what may be something I do fairly frequently. The very simple premise of this entire thing is, as with most, if not all, mini wargamers and hobbyists, we have a lot. We collect parts of shames, or parts of opportunity, as people have come to like saying, but it's an issue. I know for myself, as you can clearly see in the background here, I have an issue. As you can clearly see in the entirety of my background, I have an issue. I've probably got around, ballpark estimate, I've probably got around maybe 100, 200 models unpainted. Whole load more unbuilt. You can't see my pile of shame over off in that direction. And it's always a thing. With GW, especially, I mostly collect GW stuff. Mostly 40k. They're really keeping up the pace with those releases. Again, just in the last few weeks, both Hexfire and Kill Team have come out. For me, when I'm recording this, both boxes I wanted to pick up. Very nice as an army that I've been collecting for a while. Not properly collecting, but just slowly accruing Grey Knight models for a long time. And that's always like, sure, wants to pick it up. And then Kill Team was a really good time. I've started, God forbid, collecting my 4th army. And that army is Imperial Guard, and more to be specific, Kriegers. So, obviously, the new plastic Kriegers, I want to get my hands on them. The Orcs I wasn't so fast at. I've slowly collected a pile of Orcs over the years, so I was like, sure, add to the pile. Fun painting project, if nothing else. At least for me, that's always my issue. It's the idea of everything's always a fun painting project. It's a fun painting project. It's added onto the list. It's why I tend to pick up all the limited edition, like limited edition models. Like I don't own Sisters of Battle. I've got Sister of Battle models, because they were a limited edition character. I was like, sure, it'll be a fun painting project. It's why I didn't sell the Zinch side of Hexfire, because my thought was like, I've never painted Chaos before. Out of all my armies, out of all the models I've collected, I've never collected Chaos. And I thought, sure, Zinch would be fun. And you know, for the couple of models, I painted like a Zangoron Shaman and started work on the rubric, the Occult Scarab Sergeant. And it is fun, but it's more to the pile. So, the premise of this thing, whatever this is, video log, whatever, is to look back over my past week, and see what I've painted. With the idea, with the hope that if I know that I've got this happening next week, the fact that I have to make this will convince me to do more painting, try and get through the backlog, which will never happen. No one ever finishes their backlog, but it'll be a fun endeavor. Also, hopefully, whilst I'm doing this, cut down on what I'm buying in terms of Games Workshop. Not even Games Workshop, cut down in terms of, if I say I cut down on Games Workshop, I'll buy. I've been looking into Drop Fleet Commander and Drop Fleet Commander Malifaux, the Star Wars. I was going to say Star Wars. I've been looking at Star Wars models, they're not painted. Star Wars, well, you don't paint them. Star Wars Legion. I've been eyeing Star Wars Legion been talking about splitting a box with a friend for a long time, and that's more to the pile. So hopefully, cut down on the amount of models I'm buying. The 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 only big purchase I'm planning on making in terms of models is whatever the Black Templar box. As I'm recording this, we don't know what's in the Black Templar box. There are a lot of rumors floating about. Black Templars. You can see all along. He says trying to find his finger. All along this shelf is a Black Templar army. They are one of my main armies. They are great fun. I quite like them. They're a very different and interesting marine chapter. They're quite fun. A lot of kit bashing. A lot of messing about. And they are. I would classify myself as a Black Templar player. I have a big load of Necrons. I have a pretty decent size Custodian force. Again, I'm starting to collect Guard. My Guard aren't a full army yet. I think they're kicking 1,500 points of Guard. So, haven't hit 2k yet. But I am primarily, they were my first army. They are what I play most of the time. I say most of the time, the majority of the time I play them. I am a Black Templar player. In all the fun that they get. So, I will probably pick up the Black Templar box when that comes out. But other than that, try and limit, unless, again, some really cool stuff comes out that I really want. Try and limit myself and get through this backlog. And hey, woohoo! If I bother posting this online, join in. So yeah. In terms of models I painted this week, then, if we're actually to follow the format instead of spend 8 minutes talking, this week has been very Guard focused. It's been entirely Guard, frankly. I obviously, for me, when I'm recording this, it's the first week Kill Team has been out, so I painted up all my Kill Team Kriegers. I've on a side note, this Kill Team box is really fantastic for Kriegers. As it stands, if you're only playing Guard Plasma is really nice as Guard. Some sort of cheaper anti-heavy, like elite infantry, possibly some light vehicle stuff. It's all really good for Plasma. Vox casters as Guard are pretty nice. Depending on your army, you might want them, you might not want them, but you know, they're pretty standard. But as it stands, the Guard, well, specifically Kriegers, don't have good access to Vox casters or heavy weapons. Not like heavy weapons teams, they've got their own whole set of heavy weapons teams, but like melters, plasmas, snipers, heavy weapons that you can entrench in to regular Guard squads. This box is really, really good for that. And as we know, it'll be really good because we know we're getting the exact same kit released by itself at some point. You get a proper Vox caster. You get a spotter, which I'm honestly I'm planning to proxy as Vox caster. If I can be bothered to do editing, there'll be a photo or a video of him at the minute. He honestly looks different enough, and has kind of enough Vox casteriness for me to be willing to play him as a Vox caster. He's got a unique backpack with a bit of antennae on it. It's got like a speaker grill on it, so I'm like, he can probably be played as a class. You get plasma, you get melter. I can't even think. You get obviously you get a sniper rifle, dude in there. You get a whole load of heavy weapons, which is really nice. And it means it's really nice for that. And I was skeptical when I first built them, but now that I've painted them up, honestly, compared to old Krieger models, they're pretty good. They mix together pretty well. They're slightly less true scale, so their hands are a bit bigger, their feet are a bit bigger. One big is because they're plastic and not resin. The detail on the cloth is slightly less. But they mix together really well once you painted them up in this, like if they're the same scheme. Honestly, you can notice when you're looking at them, but in a game, they'll mix together. You know, they'll mix together perfectly well and not be noticeable. So yeah. Out of my God knows how many 100 models, if I can be truly asked after I finish recording, I'll count all my unpainted models, and put something in editing. Out of God knows how many models I have, again 100 and something. It's mostly been guard. I've painted the majority of the Kill Team Kriegers, so that's a 10-man squad. I painted a squad of Weird Veins, which I know aren't good, but they're a really damn cool model, so I kind of wanted to pick them up. I've got an Primus Astropath, not Primus Astropath, that's not a thing, Primus Psyker painted up, which is, again, a really nice model. And I've painted up all but one of the Regimental Command box. Is it Regimental Command? It's a Astropath, and I painted up the Astropath and the Master of the Fleet. The Master of Ordnance, I think he is still unpainted. So yeah, a fairly decent thing. Honestly, my next plan, finish up Kriegers. I've still got I've got a squad of Forge-World Kriegers to paint up. I've got a squad of Advancing Kriegers to paint. Again, I've got the Master of Ordnance to paint up, and he's ready to be painted up. And then after that, I've got a bunch of Black Templar to paint. Yeah, I've got an entire Assault Intercessor squad to paint. I've got some third-party models to paint. I've got some cool servitors to paint, which I'll probably use as proxies for Grimaldus. Although, who knows? He may be getting a Primaris. Model, and we may lose the Xenobites, which will be sad because Xenobites are really good. For their points, they're really good. I think they're 20 points. Honestly, they're not great in terms of abilities or whatever. But in a Marine army, having 3 models for like 20 odd points that don't take up a organization slot if you take them with Grimaldus, which Grimaldus is a pretty damn good model. They're great for just sitting in the back line, either holding objectives in the back line as if they're safe, or they're really good for doing actions because they're not going to be doing anything else. So yeah, I've got some couple models which I'm going to be proxying as them. I have a minor little fun project in my Black Templars of getting as many chaplains as humanly possible. Obviously, Black Templars have a lot of chaplains. They're very chaplain heavy. We have our own chaplain discipline. So I go out of my way to try and find old chaplains. I've got some couple old Rogue Trader and metal ones. I've got a fair few actually these days. But yeah, I really like to try and get as many chaplains as possible. So I've got a really cool third-party chaplain there who I don't know. I haven't checked him scale-wise against Primaris chaplain, so I don't know what if he'd played as a standard chaplain or a Primaris one. Who knows? I got him because he was a cool model and he was another chaplain. But yeah, that's mostly my plan for next week. Get the Kriegers done. Or try and get them done. Try and possibly move on to my Templars. Again, I've got Hollowed Basalt Ancestors. I've got a really cool find for me, a model that I've been looking for a while. It cost me a bit too much, but I wanted it in the OG Emperor's Champion model. Not the current Emperor's Champion model that we've got. The again, I'll put an image up of him up. The old OG metal pewter model. He came. It kind of felt wrong putting him together. He was sealed in box, unbuilt. But I wanted him painted, so I'll probably try and paint him up. Get him done. Again, he's a really cool model to add to the collection. I've been wanting him for a while. And yeah, I'm gonna shut up because otherwise I'm gonna be continue rambling, and this has already gone on way too long. So yeah, hopefully I keep this up and come back next week, and we'll have some more stuff done. Hopefully we can get through the backlog. Again, I don't know. I'll probably count after I've finished recording. But I personally don't think I have that big a backlog. It may be I tend to build models quite a lot and slow down on the painting side of things, so my actual pile of unbuilt models isn't that bad. But if I look at the number of built models I have, it'll probably be much worse. So yeah, thank you for listening to my ramble here and all my bollocks. And yeah, I'll see you possibly next week. Who knows? If I can keep this up. Hopefully I can, because again, let's try and get through this. Let's try and by the end of the year have... No, I'm not going to make that promise. I was going to say by the end of the year, let's try and have no models in the backlog. I have a job. I don't think I could make that if I was painting 24/7. Possibly. I don't know. Probably. But I'm not. So, yeah. Goodbye.